Sponsor of the legislation for 5 minutes.
I thank the chairman and I thank the committee. This bill repeals Title VIII of the Dodd-Frank Act, which empowers the government to designate financial market utilities as systemically important and give those organizations access to the Federal Reserve discount window. In plain terms, this section of the Dodd-Frank Title VIII has done two things. It's taken some of what are in essence middlemen in the financial system and added another layer of regulation on top of what's already there. Then this part of the law provided those middlemen with access to a line of credit provided courtesy of the taxpayer. These middlemen, called clearinghouses, did not ask for this assistance. I suspect they're in the same camp as most businesses when they're forced to go into partnership with the federal government. Thanks, but no thanks. These clearinghouses had nothing to do with the financial crisis. These are not the guys who made the risky trades. They're not the guys who took the bailouts. They facilitate certain financial transactions. They don't make them. They were wrapped up in Dodd-Frank all the same. Access to the federal discount window, this taxpayer's line of credit that they have been ordered to accept has never in our history been given to financial institutions that don't even take deposits. It's supposed to be a backstop for banks that get into trouble, not clearinghouses who have entirely different business models. There are a number of different complexities with this regulation or legislation, but fundamentally, what we're talking about here are two different approaches. On one hand, you can take an industry and you can regulate it, and when the regulations don't work, you can provide taxpayer backing. Under this model, companies are sort of public and sort of private. On the other hand, you can take the market discipline approach. Your money, your rules, your profits, and your losses. That's how the free market is supposed to work in theory. Mr. Chairman, I'd also suggest that this is how people expect it to work in practice. When we violate those expectations, we undermine the belief in free enterprise itself. That's why I suspect that 58% of millennials would rather live under communism, fascism, or socialism than capitalism. They're the ones who in part came of political age during the bank bailout. Nobody is going to support a system that is based on the notion of public risk and private reward. That's Title VIII in a nutshell. Clearinghouses are for-profit private entities. Maybe they'll never need the discount window, but by giving it to them and then calling them systemically important, we have significantly increased the chances of a future problem. Sheila Blair, the former FDIC chairman, has said that it's in large part the case with Title VIII. Even Barney Frank opposed the addition of this title in this committee to Dodd-Frank, calling it overreach. New York Times columnist Gretchen Morgenson said that, quote, "These large and systemically important financial utilities that gather, trade, and clear trillions of dollars in transactions appear to have won the daily double, access to federal money without accountability," end quote. Mr. Chairman, Title VIII has set up the pieces for a future bailout scenario. Today, we have the opportunity to begin reversing that decision. I do hope so before circumstances lead to another bad outcome for the taxpayer. So I urge support for this bill, and I yield back the balance of my time.